Hey, what's up, guys? This is Cody the Coin Raptor, and welcome to my channel. I'm here to provide you the best crypto content you can find in 10 minutes. All right, let's start with Bitcoin. Bitcoin still stuck in this range. You can see that we had a very strong day here, a very strong negative day, and it found support at, you guessed it, the 200-week simple moving average, which has moved up now and is at about 22,960, so about 23,000 or so. You can see here that this candle came down, touched that support level, and then bounced off it immediately. So if you're interested in trading Bitcoin, you need to pay attention to this 200-week moving average, because we've seen multiple times where the price has come down, it's touched it, and it's bounced off. There have been massive amounts of demand of buyers waiting to buy this under the 200-week moving average. So this is what I'm paying attention to in the intermediate term. This is the weekly here. But if we move into the hourly, we can see that Bitcoin right now has been taking a beating. It tried to break out here at 24,600. It couldn't do it, and instead it retreated all the way down here to about 23,000 or so, bounced off the 200-week moving average, and now it's kind of hovering in this range. But you can see in the RSI is 33, which means it's pretty close to being oversold. And if you look below here, you can see that it's actually at 24 below that. So at that point, it was massively oversold. And I think that we're going to get a small bump in the Bitcoin price here as the buyers return to this price. And I think that we can probably get into the mid 23,000, maybe like 20,500. Maybe we'll come back and retest this high at 24,000. It's entirely possible. And when we take a look at the daily RSI, we can see kind of a different story here. So with the daily RSI, I highlighted this yesterday in my video, but the daily RSI has had difficulty breaking through this 61 level here. This 61 level has been very strong resistance, and it couldn't get through it. Yesterday, when it had the big rise up, it hit its head below that level at about 59 or so, almost 60. It couldn't even make it to 61. So that's something else you want to watch out for. So for now, I think Bitcoin's going to pop up a little bit. It's going to continue to trade in this range and continue to make higher highs and also higher lows as well, because it's trading in this upward trend. Ethereum has been pretty strong. It's held well together. It is a little overbought, just a little bit on the daily right now. We can take a look at this, zoom out, or zoom in just a little bit more. We can see that Ethereum has been having difficulties going past this 1800 level or so. It came up here, it tried to break out at 1800 and it fell through, and now it's finding support what looks like at about the 200 hour moving average. It's found some support there, so it's probably going to stick around there for a little bit longer. If we zoom out, we take a look at the week. The weekly for Ethereum has been very bullish. We have multiple candles, right? I talked about Ethereum having one of its best months ever in July. We have multiple candles here, all green, all strong volume. And then we get to this week here, and it's kind of weak and a little bit lackluster. And the problem here is that it's having trouble breaking out, again, about that 1800 region or so, which has so far proven to be extremely strong resistance. And another spot here is still that 1700 level. The 1700 level is still giving it trouble, and it's maintaining that just here, right? It's at about 1700, and it's having trouble pushing out through the 1700 level. It looked like it was going to, and then it faked out, it wicked up, and then it faked down. So it really needs to show some strong volume in order to fully push through this level and not give the impression that it's a fake out. So for the near term, I expect that Ethereum is going to probably trade sideways for a little bit. It's going to generally follow Bitcoin, though it has been a little bit more resilient than Bitcoin. So I will be watching Ethereum and what it's going to be doing. Now, I actually have quite a lot of commentary for Ethereum. I've had many posts on my Twitter when it comes to Ethereum and the upcoming merge. And I want to talk about one of these stories that I found here, and that is with Ethereum. The crypto miners for Ethereum are pushing back against the merge, because when the merge happens, that means these crypto miners are going to have to go somewhere else, because it moves from a proof of work to a proof of stake, and that means that they would have nothing to do, really. So they're pushing back against this merge. And so what's happening here is that there are going to be some Ethereum offshoots, some possible Ethereum hard forks happening. And for those of you who are historians, when it comes to crypto, you'll remember that Ethereum already has a hard fork. That was Ethereum Classic. That was a hard fork that happened a couple of years ago, and it says here in 2016. And so Ethereum Classic, as far as I know, is still a proof of work cryptocurrency. So I'd honestly be surprised that there's going to be another hard fork for Ethereum. But one of the benefits to having a hard fork is this guy who's heading it, this head miner. His name is Hongkai Chandler Guo. I probably butchered that. I'm sorry. Right? Who used to be a large Ethereum miner in China. And what he's saying here is that in this event of the hard fork, everybody will get free money. And by that he means that people who had Ethereum on the main Ethereum chain will have an equal amount of Ethereum on these hard forks. So that's the reason why you see a lot of these hard forks happen, because oftentimes it quote unquote leads to free money. And that right there, it's kind of like an airdrop in a way. But the idea here, and the problem with having these hard forks, is that oftentimes the hard forks don't last very long, or they have trouble maintaining any sort of activity or interest, as most of the users are going to the main chain and not the fork chain. So even though you might get, say, 10 Ethereum Classic, for instance, when they had the hard fork, the value of that Ethereum Classic is not going to be tied to the value of the regular Ethereum blockchain. It's going to have its own value and its own adoption. And so that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be the same price. All right, so another big story here we have is Coinbase. Coinbase had earnings today. They posted a $1 billion net loss in the second quarter. Now, one thing that's important to point out here that I thought I would point out is the fact that the total number of users conducting transactions on the platform totaled 9 million, which was down by 200,000 over the past 3 months. So users are fleeing Coinbase either because they're not interested in the service, or they're going to a competitive service, or they're tired of crypto. I'm not entirely sure, but they lost 200,000 users. They had 1.1 billion in net losses. And on top of that, they've had trading volume reduction of 29% in the second quarter, which is, I think, that's pretty obvious to me, because we've had a bear market, and so users are just not interested right now in going and buying crypto on the exchange, or there's less interest, and so that's why the trading volume was down. So with Coinbase, they did not have a very good earnings. All right. Next, I'll move on to my main story here, and that is crypto has found a floor thanks to the Ethereum merge, according to JP Morgan. So JP Morgan, one of the largest banks in the world, has come out and said that the crypto market bottom could be in. And the reason for that is because we haven't seen any increased contagion effects from the Terra Luna implosion, and renewed confidence in the market thanks to Ethereum's upcoming move to proof of stake. And as I just said earlier in the video, the Ethereum's move to proof of stake, aka the merge, has been treated very nicely with Ethereum's price. So Ethereum's price went from about $900 all the way up to $1,700. And that shows a renewed confidence in the market, especially if this merge event happens, which has been called the biggest upgrade of Ethereum, right? So the JP Morgan has come out and they've said, well, because of this market sentiment improving, and the limitation of the contagion that we've seen from these firms going bankrupt, that would mean that the floor is in. That's basically what they're saying. They're saying the floor is in. That's their crypto bottom. They're saying the pain, the worst of the pain in the crypto market may be over. And the bull in me really wants to believe this. I need to see just a little bit more evidence to try and make that same determination. And tomorrow is going to be a very important day where we get the CPI print. And the CPI print is going to give us an idea about how good or how bad in the inflation rate is. And I think that would definitely go a long way to determining whether or not we are truly at a crypto bottom. But JP Morgan's coming out here and saying, okay, the worst is over. All right, the worst is over. And, you know, I mean, take it with a grain of salt, but there are people who really do believe in JP Morgan and think that JP Morgan has the best and the brightest of analysts, and this will convince some people to get back in the market. Okay. I myself, I actually did take advantage of some of Bitcoin's weakness here. I'm going to zoom in here to the hourly, and today I wound up buying the dip in two different places. I bought the dip around here at about 23,300 or so, and then again at about 23,063. So basically, like almost right at the 200-week moving average, because we've already shown you that the 200-week moving average is a very strong point of support for Bitcoin right now. All right, so that's all I've got for you guys today. If you like this content, please let me know. Please like and subscribe, and let me know on Twitter. Send me DMs or just leave a comment. I would greatly appreciate that. This is Cody the Coin Raptor signing out.